Peanut butter and bacon is an uncommon but classic sandwich combination. Maybe slice up some bananas, toast it, and you'll soon see why it was one of Elvis's favorites. Susan Spungen, the founding food editor at Martha Stewart Living, says we should be adding strawberries to that combination. Strawberries? Let's check it out. Short Stack was a short-lived food magazine published a decade ago. Each volume was dedicated to a single ingredient, written by a single well-known author who was also an expert in that ingredient. They're beautifully bound, equal parts cookbook, magazine, and love letter to the subject. I have them all, and there's not a single dud in the batch. Today, the random numbers chose for us Strawberries by Susan Spungen, and her recipe for a childhood comfort food, the peanut butter, strawberry, and bacon sandwich. There's only one thing we need to cook, and that's the bacon. Each sandwich needs 2 strips, and Susan says they must be crisp. I've got a thick-cut peppered bacon, which is my personal favorite. When preparing bacon for a sandwich, I usually cut the strips in half first, as I can ensure a more even cook and an easier stack when it's time for assembly. Now with that out of the way, we can proceed with making our sandwich. We've got our bacon, drained and cooled and crispy, some fresh strawberries, which we will crush. We could also use her recipe for freezer jam. My peanut butter of choice is natural and crunchy. She says it is essential the peanut butter be smooth and creamy, but I know what I like. Finally, the bread. She calls for soft white bread, but again, if we're recalling childhood comfort, for me, that's a wheat bread with plenty of whole grains baked right in. I'm always looking for a reason to use this wooden mortar and pestle. It's not hard or rough enough for grinding spices, but it'll be just right for crushing these strawberries. The end result is a wet mash that seems like it could make the bread a soggy mess, so I'm even more glad I went with something a bit sturdier. I have a feeling she goes with a jam option when she makes these for herself. There's no secret to putting the 3 ingredients on the bread, no revelatory method only Susan could have told us about. It's unlikely you'll ever see me make something more straightforward than this. Spread peanut butter on one slice of bread, and the crushed strawberries on the other. Even though she told us to use exactly 2 slices of bacon, there are no other amounts given, so I just followed my heart. The 2 slices of bacon go on one side, and remember, I cut them in half, so I've got 4 pieces. And then you put the 2 sides together. You know, like making a sandwich. It wouldn't be a sandwich-making video without a diagonal cut and a dramatic reveal, and I know how to give the people what they want. There you have it. A peanut butter, strawberry, and bacon sandwich. It looks a mess, but maybe that's not surprising for a sandwich from her childhood. That's kind of a hallmark of all peanut butter sandwiches, really. But how does it taste? It tastes like, and I know this might come as a surprise, peanut butter, bacon, and strawberries. I like those flavors all on their own, but putting the 3 together does not result in something greater than the sum of its parts. And I think amplifying flavors, not just adding them up, is what you want in a great recipe. There is potential here, but it's missing some catalyst, some spark to make it memorable. Perhaps if the berries were freshly picked, sweeter and more ripe than what the store provides. Maybe if there was a few drops of hot pepper sauce to add a surprising layer of flavor. It needs something. I think Susan let her nostalgia get the best of her here, and that got in the way of her finding us a sandwich that we'd all be making. I'll probably play with this idea more during strawberry season, one of my favorites of all the seasons, to see if I can find a great version of this. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, and leave me a comment with what you think might elevate the sandwich. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time for another adventure on the Random Recipe Project.